Hi FlyScapers, welcome to the channel. I'm Anthony, and it seems like it's been an eternity since I have been able to make a video with you guys. Now, I have posted on the channel before that I did start a faith-based channel that is Starlight Activation with Anthony, and there's a link to that in this channel. It goes into a lot more deeper level, and it's all about my spiritual journey, as in a diary where I'm just documenting what's happening as it is happening, hopefully to help other people out there that may resonate with the same things that I'm going through. But today I have something just really specific for my FlyScapers. So if you're new to the channel, this is all about DIY, massive budget builds, especially right now with the economy we're having in North America, where everything is just skyrocketing in price-wise. We still want to engage in this lifestyle hobby. And so how are we going to do it? We're going to have to get really thrifty. We're going to have to do some recycling, and we're going to make sure that we make the most of our plant orders. So if you don't know what a FlyScaper is, put a comment in there and I'll let my FlyScapers answer it for you. So one thing that I love, and I've said this, I'm going to say it always, that the community we're building here is absolutely beautiful. The feedback you guys give me is amazing, and it really does uplift my spirit to hear from you guys and your likes and your new subscribers that are coming into the channel, because we've just hit our 1-year anniversary. I'm so excited, and I'm looking forward to year 2. And with that being said, what we are presenting today is not a tutorial like I normally do on the channel. This is really my process on how, as an artist, how I start with my vision and how I work through my vision, and then how I make it fit the channel as far as a budget-wise vision. So this one had a sneak peek, little, I think it was a 3-minute video short. It had over 2,200 hits immediately. Everyone really seemed to resonate with it. At the point where I had the video just posted, it was 100% recycled except for the tank. I bought a brand new tank, but everything in it was recycled. So we weren't out any money with anything in it so far. And I've placed 1 plant order, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see it up close, and I'm going to give it its proper introduction. So first of all, thanks for joining me today, and let's get started. And here we go. All right, so what we're looking at is the Oracle Stone Temples at Mount Zenith. Now, yes, it has a theme, it has a backstory. This was like an idea that evolved. I've been wanting to do, well, first of all, this is the recycled part. The hardscape was the Harry Potter terrarium. This is all one continuous piece. Here's an additional piece right here, but here's this bottom section right back through here that's connected to this piece here. So it flows all along here and then comes up, and this is the mount. I'll show you where it does peak. And then here's an additional piece here that had another smaller stump that I found, that I merged the two together. It had originally this beautiful thick hurricane lamp candle shade on it, turned on its side to turn it into a terrarium, but the swoop on the body of it was not enough to be able to put enough soil in it. So it never really worked as a terrarium, and I wanted to leave the globe on it initially, but to put the tank in, to put the build in there, because it goes from side to side, you can see it fills the entire space up. The globe was either touching the front glass, or it had to be tilted so far back it was like jacked looking, and I just couldn't stand it. So I took it off, and when I was able to do that, I repositioned this piece to come up a little higher. Before, this was more in line with this part right here. I made it come up a little bit higher just so I could condense the foreground in a little tighter, so that would give me more room to showcase anything I wanted to put in there. So the hardscape is completely recycled from the other build. What I love about it is it has all this black in it. And this part of the backstory is this is Mount Zenith. It's a dormant volcano. So the reason why you see black on the mountain itself is because that's lava that has flowed down, that has created these channels because of the steepness of the Mount Zenith, and it's settled into the landscape itself. So the foreground is nothing but black river rock, and that is to mimic how when lava flow is in its most liquid form and it pools up and creates these little rounded pockets that turn into earth. So the whole foreground is nothing but this lava rock that is now just giving off this beautiful black silhouette throughout this entire tank. And it really plays off the back of the fact that I've use my normal black background on the tank. So it's all like very dramatic. I was really wanting to go with something really minimalist, but also at the same time, very, very striking. So with that in mind, now whenever I show you the peak in a minute, you'll be able to tell, okay, so this is the mountain. It's dormant, but not only is it dormant, it is sunken. This is an ancient archaeological site that now is underwater. We do not know why these oracle stones, which are the white stones with the black. So just like in a lot of sites here on the planet, where, like, let's talk about Easter Island, where they don't know where the rocks came from because there's nothing in the area or the region that was anything like that. This is the same thing for Mount Zenith. And the reason why we're calling it's the oracle stone is because these stones are sacred and they're spiritual. And not only that, they're striking. And we don't know why they're in this formation. We can tell you that, yes, you can see some of them have fallen. And so we don't know what its original intent was. We're not even going to try and discuss that. It's just the fact that this is an ancient archaeological site that has a spiritual significance, and it's just been discovered, and we discovered it in this state as its sunken self. And one of the things I love about that is I took archaeology in university, and I loved it, and I went on several digs, and so this really does speak to my one of my passions, which is archaeology. And then also, of course, you guys know everything I do is spiritual. So when I found these oracle stones, they were left over from another build that was on the terrarium side. And so I just, took them out, cleaned them. And this build right now is just over 2 weeks old. And I can tell you, it's not leaching, nothing in there is leaching anything off into this water column, which is amazing compared to the rest of my tanks, where I use things out of nature and we're constantly having to fight water parameters because this has nothing, it's inert. The river rocks aren't leaching anything. The oracle stones are not leaching anything. And you can see there's very little biofilm on the woodscape itself. And kind of as a note about this, when I found the wood, they were both together. These pieces were together. Yeah, I had to yank them up out of the ground, but they were both together. They were from the same tree. And it was a really big, massive tree that was rotting, and I was able to save these two pieces. So that's why I've always felt it's very important to keep them together, because they grew together and now they're still together. And I think it looks really beautiful and very, very dramatic. The other part about this is really kind of cool. The reason why I called it Mount Zenith. Zenith is, of course, one of its spiritual references is it's the highest, I think it's the highest point of a heavenly body can reach, or something that can, don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. So we're giving reference to the fact that Mount Zenith is so high up in the sky. That's why it has a spiritual reference as well. So there's a whole lot of layering going on here, this one little aquascape. And you guys know that I don't do any build does not have a backstory and does not have a reason. That's just the artist in me wanting to carry forward my theme. So it's not like, I've said this many times before on the channel, I don't get up and have an agenda and says, oh, I'm going to build XYZ today. No, this is all divinely led through Mother Nature with the hardscape and the rocks, through spirit with coming up with the story and how it fits with my personality and my passion for everything that I love to engage in with this hobby. So to me, it's just a combination of all that, and I just love that about it. So now, the one thing that I do want to talk about is I wanted to go minimalist. So the only plant that's in here right now, this is the Anubias supernova. I love it because it's so striking. Now, I bought this originally for blackfish. Because when I did blackfish, I felt like it didn't have enough plants in it, in the build itself. I thought it was maybe it was too naked. And I decided to go back with my original concept. So I removed this plant out of it and also a Anubias butterfly and put it into one of the rainbow tanks. And so now blackfish is back to its original silhouette, which is just blackfish with plants on blackfish only. Because remember, blackfish is supposed to be the skeletal remains of a orca. And we're showing that orca, even though is dead and its skeleton has rested at the bottom, new life is emerging out of it, just like we have that theme carrying forward in the tank right next to this one, which is the tree of life, which when you first look at it, it looks like it's dead, but you see on a closer look, wow, there's new life growing out of the base of that tree. So there's always symbolism in everything I do. There's always like, it's more complicated than just where, I don't know, I just can't put a tank together and just put a bunch of stuff in there and it not be, to me, cohesive. And so that's where, when you guys kind of are maybe trying to figure out where I'm going with the theme or something like that, it's all interconnected on so many different levels, which to me is fascinating and sometimes can be very frustrating as an artist, because you want to get your point across and you want to make sure that your build stands on its own. And that's really my big intent, is that my builds stand the test of time. So when I put the oracle stones and arrange them, they're not glued. So they're all being held into place just by the sheer force of the other rocks around them. I will say this, these three right here together, they're locked in together. These right here are locked in because there's two behind it. There's one back in here that's laying across the entire top, and then these have fallen. And those were on purpose. I wish I had a few more to have really brought forward the theme of how this all has fallen when it sunk. But I'm loving the way it looks right now, and I'm loving the minimalist look. I do have a neo shrimp in mind for this tank. I do believe I'm going to lean towards the jade green I think. Now, yes, it is more on the expensive side than what I normally spend, but I think it would look really, really pretty and striking in here. Okay, so now we've gotten to the point where, okay, what are we going to do with it? I have been doing research for quite some time on the perfect kind of boost. Of course, you guys know, I should have just done that as a question. What plant is Anthony going to put in here? Well, yeah, everyone would. If anyone answers boost, you know me that well, because I put boost in every single build. And I think it's just a fascinating, amazing plant and how it develops inside your tank. And so the plant I was looking for, I wanted the supernova to be like one color of green that shows it's almost like large vegetation that was one of the first plants that came in and kind of like anchored itself to the area. And then the boosts, of course, those are much smaller, and I want to show those as like the next level. So the one I have picked out was the pink Godzilla. And I chose it because pink Godzilla comes the new leaves coming out can have a pinkish hue to them, to other faded colors, especially like to brown. And before it can be like months older, before that leaf turns officially green, dark, dark green. And I thought, okay, that would be kind of cool because any of the new leaves are always going to be this lighter color that'll be on top. I want to put some of the boosts in the lava rocks at the base, maybe a couple of plants on the mountain itself. I've got a couple of places where it's got some really good crevices where we could put a boost inside there. And then I also think I picked in my order was a brownie phoenix, I believe, just because I love the coloration it had. It's a little smaller plant than the Godzilla, and I just trying to always put in a different kind of plant. Now, for you guys to know, those of you who watch me all the time, you know I really, really stress how to stretch your budget when it comes to ordering your plants. And so I wanted to cover this before we do the unboxing, because we're not going to go into the detail that I normally would on a video, but I'm going to explain how, in this process, how I kind of was able to save a little more than normal. So you know that when you're on the Aquarium Plants Factory website, you can do a exclusive search for buy two get one free specials. Now that means you can mix. You can buy one of one variety, one of another variety, one of another variety. You could just put one in there, one in there, one in there. And as long as you get to the second one and you put a third one in there, the third one's going to be free, in theory. And I want to stress this to you guys. Please do your due diligence. This is what I do. I start with boost plants and APF websites open and my cart's open. I go to both sites. I look at the plants that they have that I'm willing to spend that much money on, and I pick my first and my primary. So for this order, it was Pink Godzilla. And they did not have Pink Godzilla at Boost store. So because Boost and APF don't have a lot of crossovers between them, they have different colors, which is nice because then you've got, you know, other options. I did look on a lot of other, once I found that I wanted the Pink Godzilla, I Googled pink and found all the other vendors out there. There's some on eBay, but they're so much more expensive. So Pink Godzilla, when I pulled it up on the APF website, was eligible for the buy two, get one free. Now, here's where you need to really think about. I've told you guys before, keep your price point exactly the same. So my price point for Pink Godzilla was $14.99, and that was 1, 2, 2 plants. Now, I'm hoping that it's really 2. Now, there's a big difference. What you guys normally see me where I really rack out on plants is I buy boosts when it says bunched. Bunched is not one plant, it's not 2 plants, it's 3. You get 3 of that variety with that one price. And like the last time I spent $14.99 when I was doing the Rainbow series. So that's why I have one tank, the blue tank, that's covered in boost. And most of them were all free because I put my stem plants in there first and got the ones I needed. And then I filled it up with the other things for the rest of the tanks. So when I'm looking at my boosts, I want to make sure, if I can, I get one that says bunched. If it says loose plant, that means 1. If it says loose 1 to 2, that means you could get 1 or 2, and that's it. But if it's bunched usually always means on their website, you're going to get 3 of them. So if you're getting 3 and you order 2 of them, you've just got 6 plants. Your third order, if it's still in that same category or another boost that has bunched, that means you're going to get 3 boost plants for free versus if the free one is the just 1 or 2. So if you follow what I'm saying here, is try to keep your price point spot on. And also, are you going to do bunched, or are you going to do loose, or is it 1? And so I stay away from the ones that are 1 because they're usually way more expensive and they don't align with me trying to get as many plants as possible. So that's what I did with this order. I put in for my Pink Godzilla, and then I thought, okay, I want the Brownie Phoenix, which I put one of those in, I believe. And then I thought, okay, my order came to $60 and I was getting 2 plants for free. So I thought, okay, but now I had to pay shipping because it's under $100. So shipping, guess what? I calculated it. Minimum shipping is $20. Okay, that didn't fly with me because I don't want to pay $20 in shipping and get nothing for it. So guess what I did? I put another 2 plants in my order, and then a third one that was going to be free. And this is how I did it. I opened up another window on their website, which also opens up my shopping cart again, but I was playing around with the pricing. I did a search just on the buy 2, get 1 free special. So it's just all the random plants in there, but I narrowed it down by price. So I narrowed it down between $13 and $16. So then it only pulls up plants that are in that grid. And then I first honed in on my $14.99. So when I pulled up my $14.99, I found something that I had never seen on their website. And I think it's called pearl moss. And then there's another water fern that I've never seen. And both of these were $14.99. So I was able to put in 5 orders of pearl moss, 3 orders of the fern, and that brought my total to $110 compared to $80 and only getting the 3 original, the two original types, just in different numbers of them. So I seriously saved a boatload of money by going in and doing it by a price point search. And I pulled up 2 plants that I didn't even think I would want. So, because you guys know I love to experiment. So when I saw the pearl moss, it said it can grow in your substrate and on rocks and wood. And I thought, okay, that's cool. I'll put some in the tanks and we'll see. We'll give it a test. We'll see if it grows in the substrate. And then I'll put a little of it between these obsidian river rocks to give a little more carpeting effect, because they're supposed to continuously grow and can turn into a carpet. So we're going to give it a try. And the fern is not a bulbitis, it's different and it's a little taller. So I'm not sure, I may put them in this tank just to see how they grow, and then put them in another build down the line, because I would like to do a larger tank and use one of my larger pieces of wood. You guys that watched my last foraging video, I showed you I've got some amazing, really big pieces of hardscape that I would love to use in a tank. And so I was thinking, okay, I could keep them temporarily in this tank, but I still want to keep my minimalist look. But I'm going to try and see if we can do the pearl moss, and where can I put the fern. Now, once we unpack it, if I love the way the fern looks and I'm thinking, oh no, I'll put this someplace else, or maybe just group them all together like a tree, I could do that in here because it's another rhizome. So it can go between the gaps in these rocks as well. So that's kind of my plan. And so what we're going to do now is I am going to unbox so you can see what it looks like. But we're going to skip a lot of the stuff we normally skip just because you guys know what I do. And then we're going to go into putting it on the planting itself. Now I'm going to try and not cause any of my rocks that are balanced, any of the oracle stones. I'm going to try and put, if I can, the brownie and the pink Godzilla. I'm going to try and play around with it. If I love the moss a lot, I may put more of the moss at the river level, the river rock level, and then put the boost more on the second tier, because it is a smaller plant. But I'm going to keep the Anubias where it is. And because I think it looks really, really striking. And I'm trying to think, I remember when I bought, I think these were individuals when I bought these. I'll have to look back on my price point for this. But so for the cost factor right now, this tank, I got it 50% off at PetSmart. And so it was $32. Nothing in there right now is costing us anything. Even the little fountain pump that's in there is recycled from another build. And I spent technically 60 on plants for this tank. So we're under $100 right now, and we will do one shrimp order. So this will probably end up being $120 for this tank, which is amazing given the fact that this is a 20-gallon long, which is kind of like, I like the size of these because the water is a lot easier to deal with, and it gives you a great ripple effect. Just having that one very, very minor little tabletop fountain pump inside there. And I think it's just, for me, it balances out the studio. I'm all about balance and harmony and, making everything balance out. So let me get set up in the kitchen to where we're going to do the unboxing so you can see what the plants look like, and then we'll see where we're going to put them at. Okay, so here we have my 3 boosts, and here is the Pink Godzilla. Now, Pink Godzilla was the one that was not bunched. So I bought 3 of these, and it looks like, hopefully I think I see there's 2 in each one of them, which is good. Because I was thinking if I just put them on the foreground, I would need 6. And then this one right here, that is the Brownie Ghost. And this one is the Achilles Green. Now, this is the one I chose just because I wanted one a little bit bigger that I would put in the substrate down into the lava rocks. I was wrong. My fern is a bulbitis, which means death for me because I've never been able to grow it before. But I got 2 of those. And then here, it's super dark. Super, super dark. This is the pearl moss. And so I got 5 of these. So they're nice 5 clump bags. And I'm going to open these up really, really quick, and then we're just going right to planting. Okay, super happy about this. This is what I was hoping for. So even though it says 1 to 2, here was bag number 1. Number 2 has 3, and number 3 had 3. So there's the largest one is the one that was in the first bag. And so they did give the 2, 1 to 2, there's 2, and then there's 3 and 3. So that is amazing. That's one thing I do love about their ordering from them. Like the last order I did for the Rainbow series, they sent me an entire bag of 3 of 1 boost in it that was extra, and I just love that. And I'm just ordering normally under just who I am, not as a creator or anything like that. All right, so let's get busy to plant. All right, on the first one, remember when I said there's some pockets? There's one right here, kind of close at the top. So guess what? Let's put one of the smaller ones in there. I have found that all of the boosts so far, of all the boosts that I'm using, they all prefer to be submerged. And I'll give you a close up. See if you can see. Okay. Come on. If I can find the right angle here. Dang it. It's going to be easier just to hold it. Yeah, there you go. Nice and healthy. Love it. But I have a couple of boosts that are already growing at the top, boosts and Anubias, that are already growing. Now I'm going to put where this little section here, little runner coming off, is going to go inside the build. Like so. Yeah. And remember my best advice on boosts and Anubias: get it secure and leave it. Let it do its work. It will attach itself. You will be amazed. I mean, I'm going to say give it 2 months, but you will be amazed. It'll do a beautiful job of attaching itself. Now, there's also a crevice, see if you can see, right there. Let me see what else I have. Okay, I got all this highlighting on here and it's making it difficult for me to see in there. Oh, it's too bad. There is another spot. Oh, right there. Oh, I just dare not go. That's right at the top. I'd be afraid that thing would be sitting out of water a lot. And I don't want to do that to it. So there is a hole there. Yeah, there's a hole. Well, not really a hole, but there's enough of a crevice there. And where we could do maybe this larger one. Oh, I don't know, maybe the large one between the rocks. Yeah, this one has like a nice long. I do love, there's a couple other ones I have in the booth that have these wavy leaves. I think they look so amazing. Okay. There's definitely more room for you to go back down in there. Yeah. Nope. Come on. Come on. Don't mess it up. Yeah, don't worry. You may knock off some leaves, but the point is, if you can wedge it, okay, that one's wedged better. If you can wedge it in there, that's what it wants, and then it'll start doing its little anchoring. Now we're going to look for any place other on the structure itself. Not really, that's too smooth. No. Yeah, no. This over here can take a larger one, maybe. I don't know if that's an open. That could be an opening right there. And if it is, I have the perfect one. I try to pick the ones that, you know, it's not going to mess it up. It's going to go in there. It'll be able to secure itself. Yes, just like that. So see how easy that is? I'm horrible at gluing. I've said it over and over again. I hate gluing. I usually end up killing them. And if I can wedge it, I'm all about the wedgie. That sounds a little odd. Yes, we're all about the wedgie. I wonder if I could get one under there, like that larger one maybe. Here's one. I've got two that fan out nicely. Okay, so if you can see what I'm doing, I start at one side. I'm working my way around. I want to create balance. It's all about balance. Okay, so I'm able to put two right there together because we're going to want a nice little focal point. Now, how can we... Oh, geez. Sorry, guys. Totally have not even showed you what I'm doing. I'm so horrible about this. Okay, it's right here. I'm sure you're yelling at me on the camera. Oh my God, you're not even showing us what you're doing. Okay, so I just put two right there. Whoops. So I put this little tiny one right here, wedged it in, and then put a larger one here. See how it's fanning out? The leaves are naturally just going to hold that one in place. Now I'm looking for something right through here. No. 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 Potential right there. It's potential right there. Oh, here's a broken leaf. Let's get that out. Maybe we do something here. We have this large one. Okay. Looks like it's a little hidden. Could turn it the reverse. Oh, yes. That looks better. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, I thought I could do 6 easy. I have 3 left. So let's go back. Let's balance out this side right here. There is a crevice right there at the base of the wood. See right here, right there. Let's go there. Let's pick something that's as wide of a span of 1. And the plant will tell you how it wants to go. I pick them up and I really just look at how do I think it wants to go in there. I don't know about that. I kind of made that really thick. I mean, there is a place here. No, I'm not loving that. No. Okay, I might love that. No. Okay, I could do that. So there's no way to put one there. No, it had to be too big. I don't know. Maybe let's put it on the side. Like there. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't stand out yet, but it will eventually. Yeah, it looks a little hidden. Give it some time. All right, who else? Before we move on, maybe we can try and put one elevated at the rock level. Where this cluster of rocks are. I have 2 left. So I was thinking, why not here? Can you see the lightness of those leaves right there? That's what's going to be kind of cool. Okay, I've got another one. So we can take this and maybe put it in, yeah, we'll chuck it in there for right now because I want them to attach themselves. And then we'll worry about them coming out. All right, let's pull, next I'm gonna pull the brownie ghost. 2005. Now, Brownie Ghost has wider leaves, much deeper coloring, and it's a bunched. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4. So there you have it. We got 4 out of this one. They tell you that a bunched has 3. This one has 4. And they're all a nice size. So let's go for restyle so you can take a look. Brownie Ghost. Wider. It's got red. You can see it's definitely got red markings, which is kind of nice. And as the name implies, it should have some brown, which I can see some brown undertone. Let's go back. Let's assess where we think. Now this one's larger. We do have that one largest one, which I may put it in the foreground right up front. But this one, we definitely can put it maybe right at the top where that rock is on the upper left. So let's pick one. I'm going to pick one of the taller ones. Let's see if I need 1 or 2 to give me the look I want. Okay. So maybe this way. There you go. This might be a one on the back side. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen with this plant. One on the back. That one's going to be too thick. So I'm choosing a rhizome that will just stay right in there. Not loving that yet, hang on. Needs to go like that. Let's see how that looks. Okay. If I could get a third one, I would love to have a third one. Or even use all of them. Oh, yes. Oh, will you stay? Oh, please tell me you'll attach. How does that look? I think I'm going to try and get them all right there. All right, let me see. So I did want to move the rock at all, but what it has now, those 4 pieces are on the, it's kind of hard to tell. So there, and let's do the back side. And you've got 2 on the backside flaring. Well, hang on. Flaring up. You've got this one and that one, and then there's one coming out forward and there's one going back. So it's like it's encircling that one section right there, all one plant. So I like that. The next one we're going to do is going to be hopefully right down in here. We're going to go with the larger one. This is the Achilles green. I really picked this one out because it's it's just bushier. And I thought, okay, it can make a really cool statement piece. Okay, so there's 3 and they're really nice and large. One is oh my gosh, one's a twin. Look at that, it's a twin. That is really cool. And then here's another one. Oh, look at that purple, how that purple is just jumping out. Okay, so here's the third. That's the smallest one, is that one. So the twin, I feel like I need to do something special with the twin, like stand it up. Oh, stand it up. Oh, well. I believe I have found my focal point where it's going to go. Right in here, which to me are the eggs. Just look at those and they look like eggs to me. That's potentially, I could put this in the lava rock if I wanted. Let's see how this will look. Okay, these rocks, there's nothing behind them. It will go like this. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, ta-da! That was not difficult. So that will be something that will be a focal point to draw your attention up. Okay, so I'm loving the look. Of course, you just can't, how could you not like Boost? Boost is just an amazing plant. I believe I'm going to do these last 2 together because they're so bushy. I just think it screams. When I say screams, I mean literally, it screams, put me down in the foreground. Like right there. I think that's what I'm going to go for right there. Yep. What's nice about this is this hardscape is suctioned, cupped to the bottom, so the rocks are all loose and they've got wide gaps in them. Because why? We are creating little caves for all of our little shrimps who are going to be in here. We want them to be happy and have plenty of places to run into and explore. And all right. Should have lay down in there more. There we go. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how simple it is. Now here are really the only plants that I meant for this. What we have at this point afterwards is because we are going to take advantage of the sale and the Bobitus fern. Uh-oh, someone has just dislodged themselves. Did you guys see where it came from? It's not here, not there. It's going to be back over here. No. Literally? Oh, no. Yes. Is it this one? No, there's two there. What was I missing? Oh, here. Oh, so you're not going to work there. No. The other one is in its spot. You are just going to have to be pushed in there further till you attach. Okay. Let me unwrap the bulbitis and see what I'm thinking. Well, it's pretty. I really think it should stay as one. This is one of them, so I got two of them. We'll be able to see it though. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I just don't know if it's going to stay. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can see a little bit of it. Now remember that we can move out to another build anytime. We're putting it in here because I don't want to put it in any of the Rainbow series, and the other tanks all have their stuff going on. I love the texture. Here's the second one. I'd like to be able to balance that one with this one. Okay, it's easy. Okay, the moss. Let's see about the moss. Okay, so the pearl moss is this gorgeous, almost like an emerald color. Now, it can be planted on your substrate, but you do need to weigh it down with some like little rocks or pebbles. Or what I'm going to try, and if it's messy, I'm going to pull it out, is placing some of it in the crevices between the rocks, the cracks of the rocks, just to see if that's going to work. Because these are loose portions, which all moss comes like that. So I'm just going to try and see initially how it's going to work. I'm just going to pull strands of it and then try and see how it just looks in the beginning. If I don't like it, we don't have to go with it. Oh, see how it's floating? Oops. I'm not quite so sure about this. But I'm going to go with it. Because like everything else, this is rhizome based. So it should, you know, do its thing, attach itself. So hopefully even eventually the ones that are floating will find some security somewhere. Yikes. Oh, I don't want to move anything. Oh, hey, remember that big old gap up here? Perfect for some moss. Okay, so that's how I'm going to go ahead and do it, and I'll give you guys the final shot. Okay, so there we have it. I ended up using all 5 packets in this build. It's easier to keep it, naturally it's kind of like clumped together. So I kept it in as large of a clump as possible. And that way, hopefully, it will begin to adhere. I've already seen some of it already floating down, which is nice. Wherever it floats, as long as it finds an attachment point. The little pump at the top is just a little 5-watt. It should not pull that much into it, but most of it is like attached to everywhere. I only had a couple of mishaps with the little tinier pink Godzilla floating up when I was putting the moss around it, so I just put everyone back in their location they were. Here is how the peak comes up out of the top. And you can see that black goes all the way up to that, but let's do a closer to give you an idea of how we tried this. And you can see you've got your Godzillas right there. And then we transition to, you can just see I just kind of squished the moss in there wherever I could. It's also at the bottom. See right there, it's like that all around the bottom, in the back especially where there were some gaps. And if it can grow in, that'll be amazing because the shrimp are going to love it. So the one nice thing about this is because I don't have the gravel, they're going to love feeding off of the rocks of this, because all the other shrimp, they love the big rocks that I have in the builds. They are constantly crawling all over it. And this one is nice because it does have your main cave system right all the way through the middle of it. And then with the way the rocks have been placed, they're kind of like stacked. And there's gaps everywhere they are stacked. So that's kind of nice. They're going to be able to really enjoy finding lots of places, you know, to hide. But here's another kind of more of a detailed look. And what we're going for, I was not able to get the moss I wanted on the wood itself. The grooves were not deep enough to hold it. So I'm hoping that some of it will at least attach itself and start growing that way. As you can see, just since I've been filming right here, they are settling, that's what I want. I want them to start settling and then getting themselves attached. But here's more. Let me see if I missed any. Yeah, you can see it right there. I'm trying to clump it. So it goes all the way around the build. A little more clumping back in here. It goes to the back side. And then here we go. So I love how it looks. It's still in my minimalist look. It's a little more crowded than I might want it to be, only because everything is, you know, put in there because I don't want to, you know, like add anything else more to the other tanks. So remember again, this is an experiment with the moss and the Bobitis fern. I've never had the ability, I've had Bobitis before, I love it, but I had the mini and it just all died out. So we may not have any luck with, that's why I put it in the back. You can't see it anyway unless I film directly down on it. So if it doesn't do well, you're not going to notice it's not in there anyway. So what I'm loving is the overall aesthetic of the supernova with its spiky leaves. And then we go into our boosts, which have either the rounded, or when we get to the pink Godzilla, they're the very thin but wavy. So all the leaf structures are different. And then we have this darker element. This pearl moss is the darkest plant in there, which I love that. I'm loving the fact that I put most of it with the black rock. I think it looks very, very natural that as the black rock, the lava cooled, you would have the plants growing in the gaps. That's how it happens in nature. Just start watching some videos about how Hawaii is created and you'll see just how it looks just like this in nature. So I want to thank you guys for being with me. Again, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. becoming one of the FlyScapers. My FlyScapers, I love you. Please give me your feedback. Tell me what you think about it, and I'll see you guys either in the sky as your flight attendant, maybe, you never know, or on the next video update. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.